I managed to get myself a table in the Artists Alley at London Comic Convention. Trouble is, I sold out of my How to Draw Manga books and I needed something else to sell, something quick. I decided to go down the route of creating stickers, but was it worth it? So there were two reasons why I decided not to restock the How to Draw books that I'd done. The first reason being my publishers normally take a couple of months to actually get the orders to me, and there just wasn't enough time. I needed to go with a different idea. Secondly, the How to Draw books weren't really selling quite so well at the shows as I had expected. It's weird, I kind of thought because I'd created, hundreds of illustrations in these books and tens of thousands of words of text, then people would be like, wow, this is a big bulky project. This is something that, I can actually learn from and get some sort of educational content out of and, sit and appreciate. And people would rather just have like a standalone single sheet of paper, a fan art print, than they would a whole book explaining basically how they themselves could do it, which is fine, but it just, I don't know, it's not perhaps what you would think. It's a bit counterintuitive when you sort of have gone to the effort to sort of produce a product which took you ages to create and then it just isn't really well received, at least not at those events. I have gone on to sell tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of How to Draw books over the years, but just at conventions, no one's really too interested. So I thought I needed to try something new, and I thought let's try the vinyl sticker route. I thought as well people would want something a bit more affordable. I've already got art prints which people can buy, metallic versions as well as big huge canvases, and I thought let's try and go for something sort of lower price point, something a bit more affordable, and actually see if that works, if people are interested. So there wasn't going to be time to create whole new sticker designs, and even though I knew that when people at these events sell stickers, they tend to do pretty well, and they're normally a different design compared to the sort of full-blown art prints, normally something a bit more simplified and a bit more sort of reducible in size. So I kind of thought, right, I'm gonna have to just repurpose what I've got. So I took my top 15 best-selling art print designs and I converted those all into stickers. So it's a case of just removing the backgrounds and making them sort of sticker friendly, basically. So from there, it was a case of getting some quotes from printers, and there are sticker companies, if you search for, sticker printing on Google, that will come up in your local area that will stick printers. It was too expensive. I just needed like a small amount. I didn't need 1,000 of each design. I only wanted like 20 to 25 of each design just to sort of test them out. And I wanted something that was going to be a bit different, something that was a bit more, that I could sell as like a special edition, something with like a silver or holographic sort of trim around the edges. And in the end, I ended up going down the route of looking for Chinese manufacturers and sellers and publishers. I got some quotes, found one that worked for me, ended up getting some stickers sent, and they looked pretty good. But I wanted to add something to it. I felt like just a sticker on its own looked a bit boring, a bit plain. I was a little bit worried over time that they'd start to like curl up and look a bit tacky or whatever. So then I thought, right, okay, let's put them on some backing material. So for example, this was one that I created. So this is it has a holographic sort of trim to it on the background and has this sort of backing ball, a little bit of artist info about me so people can sort of check out my website if they want to, order more if they so want to on the website. And I was pretty happy with how they looked. I mean, that was a case of going to another printers and getting some backing card printed, and for some weird reason the printers refused to cut it to my exact specifications. They said, no, we can only do it as A6 size, which is, I don't know what that is exactly, something like 15 centimeters by 10 centimeters, something like that. And I was like, oh, can you do it a different size? They're like, no. I was like, right, okay, well, I've got a trimmer at home, so even though it would take the printers like 2 seconds just to trim the whole lot in one go, I thought, right, I'm gonna have to just manually trim this, myself, just to make sure that each one fit inside the little bags that I'd bought and the stickers fit inside, and it all kind of worked out. And it did, in the end, it all looked really good. It looked like a little nice, tangible product. But would they sell at the comic convention? So I bought these little display racks to display them. They're fairly inexpensive, eBay, AliExpress job, just getting something that would actually fit the stickers. And luckily these exactly fit 3 stickers in each row. So the sizing just happened to work out perfectly. So I was quite happy about that. And yeah, brought them to the convention, put them in the slot where I'd normally put the How to Draw books. And then I waited to see if anyone would actually buy these stickers. They did. In the end, I'd sold some stickers, it worked out pretty good, and it was worth doing. I thought that maybe they wouldn't sell, but they actually sold a lot better than the How to Draw books. And I'm always a little bit concerned with the the fact of offering these lower price point items, because you sort of think, okay, are people mainly going to buy the lower price items instead of the higher price items? And overall, is that going to be sort of less money in the bank at the end of the day from me as a seller? But I think the people that did buy the stickers are the sort of people generally that wouldn't have bought the print anyway, or vice versa. And the price point was something that I was sort of umming and ahhing about. I was trying to decide how to price these things. I had a look on eBay and Etsy and Amazon to see if other people were selling stickers, quite a few on Etsy. And the general gist was that if you've got something that's got maybe a bit of foil finish to it, a bit of special something, then you could probably get about, I don't know, £2 to £8 per sticker. So that's, I don't know, $3 to $10 in American money. And I kind of thought, okay, that's interesting. I mean, for me personally, I wouldn't pay, you know, $10 or £8 for a sticker, but there was someone on Etsy who was trying to do that and had done that. They had some positive reviews from people that had bought their sticker for that amount, and the same sort of size, sort of 4" by 4", that sort of size. I thought, okay, well, I'm going to try £4 and see how it goes. And I thought that was sort of a fair price point. And then when I went to the convention, I sort of compared against other people's sticker offerings, and they kind of varied between £2 and £4, £5. So I was kind of like in the high end, the sort of top 25%. But I felt like, you know, given the fact that I've kind of gone to a little bit more effort to display it better, and it wasn't just a flat sort of matte finish, and it had that kind of shine and holographic finish to it, I thought, yeah, I kind of think this is worth it for those that are interested in something like a little bit more collectible and sort of special edition. And yeah, it kind of worked out pretty good. Right, let's try and sell these online. I've got them anyway, but you know, why not sell them as well? The trouble is, for a low price point item, you sort of think, is it even worth it? Is it worth, you know, creating a listing, taking photos, actually, you know, writing a description about the product, put it online and trying to get traffic to that product to sell it, if you're only selling a product for, you know, £1 or £2, £4 or £5 in this case? I did it anyway. I've kind of thought, why not? So I went ahead, I created some small videos, sort of little promo videos, took some photos, wrote a description, put that together in a sort of listing for my personal website, my website shop, put them online. 16 designs later, good, they're all there. They're all up, you can buy them. You know, I kind of did a deal so that if people bought one, they don't have to pay extra postage and shipping for buying more. So there's a bit more incentive to kind of increase the potential buying in per order. Because at the end of the day, when you fulfill an order, whether it's a £4 item or a £4,000 item, it pretty much takes the same amount of time to fulfill. That is to say, you know, deal with the, you know, see what the order is, grab the order, pack it, post it, deal with any like customer feedback or returns or issues or anything that could potentially come down the line. So anyway, it's on my website, you know, they're there to buy. And I thought, shall I also sell these on like Amazon, eBay, Etsy, stuff like that? The trouble is, with so much competition on Etsy with stickers, you know, there's already, I don't know, 10,000 other stickers to compete with. It's like, is anyone going to buy my sticker? And then obviously with the rise of AI, it's like, yeah, I can do okay in the artist's alley at the comic convention because people know that I'm an artist and, you know, the artists there have been vetted, and you have to be an actual tangible creator and not just an AI prompter in order to get table space. However, you know, that's sort of ambiguous on Etsy. You can just put anything up there. And so I thought I'll probably maybe do one or two. I'll test the waters, but it's one of those things where you feel like, I mean, I've already got an online shop, so I'm literally just relying on Etsy's customers and their own traffic to sort of go to my products and potentially buy them. And because Etsy take like a 20% or so cut in anything I sell, you know, I'm going to have to maybe reduce the price slightly to make the items shift, maybe. So I'm a bit kind of unclear as to whether or not selling these on Etsy in addition to my own personal website is worth it. I don't know whether there would be enough traffic to do that, and obviously you have to pay to list every item, and whether you're listing an item for £4 or £4,000, it's going to be the same sort of set fee regardless. Was it worth it for the shows? Yeah, definitely. It was definitely worth creating some stickers in addition to the art prints that I sell, and it was better than the how to draw books or any books. In fact, there was a guy at the show that the last one I went to who was mostly selling graphic novels books. His art looked good, But I could just tell, like, I mean, you could see throughout the course of the day, because he was like directly opposite me at the show, he just wasn't having the kind of interest that I know that he thought he deserved and that I think he deserved. But people just aren't really interested in books and things. They want an immediate, like, right, I get it. It's a figure, it's a keychain, it's a sticker, it's a bookmark. I can see what it is. It takes me 2 seconds to process. Do I want it? Do I not? When you're buying a book, it's like, do I really want to buy this comic book or story? It's kind of a weird, unfortunate case where people at shows particularly, and perhaps this is in general, don't really value books anymore, whether it's graphic novels or comics, or in my case, how to draw books. It's kind of just a weird thing where I think for narrative or educational content, people just want it in video form. I think certainly for the type of demographic or whatever, just books don't seem to work really. So yeah, worth keeping in mind if, you know, if in future you ever think, you know what, I might do one of these comic conventions one day and I might try selling some things. Shall I do a graphic novel? Shall I do a book? I mean, it might work. It might be great for you. I don't want to crush anyone's dreams, but that's just an observation I had, that people tend to want those immediate sort of products that they can identify with, understand in an instant, decide if they want to buy it, yes or no. So where do I go from here? I mean, do I do more designs? Do I do different designs? Do I maybe do sticker packs or something? Like I say, from the offset, these particular designs weren't meant to be stickers. They were meant to be sort of designed as art prints, potentially t-shirts. I sell them as t-shirts as well. So I don't know whether I should just double down on the stickers, do more stickers, or just keep it as a sort of aside, you know, given the sort of the fact that they're not a high value item and you don't want to invest too much time in trying to sell something which, even if you sold a lot of, is still not going to be mega rich by the end of the day. And at the end of the day, you know, we're trying to be artists, professional artists. That means making a living from our art and not just doing it as a hobby. So you need to find a way to sustain that. And I kind of feel like stickers could be the answer. Maybe not. I mean, I just don't have that much experience of attempting to sell them online. It's something that I'm now going into. So what do you think? Do you think it's worth selling these sort of small ticket items, or is it worth maybe just specialising in big sales, you know, selling big, huge canvases at hundreds of pounds a go? Like, have you ever bought stickers, and what do you look for in a sticker when you buy it? What do you do with the stickers? I mean, me personally, I don't really buy or collect or use stickers that much. And I'm interested to know the sort of people that do buy them, or even the people that did buy them at my show. Like, what do you do with them? Do you stick them to the backs of your laptops, your tablets, your phones, your water bottles, or do you just sort of file them away as sort of like little collectible pieces? Just be interested to know for people that do buy stickers. And then what sort of is your price point? If you do buy stickers, you know, are you the sort of person that would never pay more than, you know, $1 or a couple of bucks or a couple of pounds for a sticker? Or would you have paid £4/$5 for a single sticker? Like, do you think I'm ripping people off basically? Or do you think, no, it's fair enough money considering the fact that, you know, you've gone away and drawn some artwork and made it sticker ready, found some quotes, got some stickers made and, you know, packaged them up, went to a show or whatever and offering them for sale? Do you think that's, maybe I'm underselling myself, who knows? Let me know what you think, and until next time, I'll see you soon.